Hope. Okay. My first video was a failure. Sadness. So I was basically drawing this when there was absolutely no one being able to listen. Anyways, so back to what I did say earlier was I play a dress-up game a whole lot. Okay. And they came out with new outfits. And so I'm drawing my main OC in one of them. Yep. I'm so lost now again. I was such a mess making the first video, and now I have to redo it again. Oh, I'm in a bad boat right now. Right, the first video, half that I was making before I realized it was a failure. Oh, and his arms off. Oh well, it's fine. We'll talk about my main OC, Belle. She's my oldest OC. It's like 6 years. I don't remember entirely, but it's been quite a while. She's a succubus. This is the outfit I'm drawing on a Belle in the dress-up game. In love, totally. Love my waifu here. Anyways, the body sketch I did on like Monday or Tuesday. I drew the outfit and was talking about it and everything else before I realized the video was not actually working. Sadness. Oh, that looks so bad now. Oh well. It's about how I'm an amateur artist, of course. Let's talk about my animation memes. I'm currently working on one. I'm like really late to the party, so well, whoopsies. It's fine though. Oh, those frills look bad now that I'm looking at them again. Alright, let's sing in my last video part. My name is Stan. The character that I use a lot, Stan the Man, is my persona, basically. I do wear trench coats occasionally, which is the main reasoning behind Stan the Man, of course. Stan acts like a guy a lot, for personal reasons. And because she likes to hang out with her friend Roderick, who is like Stan, and likes to act like a guy, basically, I guess. Not technically act, if you will. More like dress up to where they look, you can't tell that they're female, I guess. At least for Stan, that's how it is. She dresses up as a male, usually. Sometimes she doesn't, but usually in public she does. In whatever way that is, whether it's her trench coat or just binding her chest with something and wearing like a t-shirt. Just keeping her form on minimal for personal reasons. and she occasionally acts like a guy. And like, I'm trying to explain it, but I can't. I'm bad at explaining things. I know what I mean, but oh, I'm really bad at this. My anatomy is so off today here. So my name is Stan. My favorite color is silver. I want to say glitter so bad, but it's not a color, and I am sad. Well, that's so bad. My favorite food is watermelon right now. I love watermelon so much. I have various OCs that I draw. My OCs will be my main things drawn, and my animation memes or any like art I draw. I don't really draw other people's characters and stuff anymore. I used to, but I don't really like to disappoint people, you know? That looks so bad. Okay. Back to the animation meme thing. I plan on trying to do them more often. Like, work on them more often. I'm not very good at drawing. I'm an amateur artist, as you can tell right here. So it's like twice as hard. To like actually try to animate something. It's more of still images that move in parts, to be honest. I'll tell you that now. I tried to animate it, like actual animate it, like frame by frame, and it was too hard for me. Whoa. I'm trying not to make it like repetitive, though. Well, that looks really bad right here. But I'm trying not to make them repetitive. At least not extremely. Like I've seen certain animation memes. So I watch quite a few of them. Where the repetitive, like, things go well with what's going on. and then sometimes I don't. It also depends on how pleasing it is, of like the repetitive thing. If it's like literally flipping or something, not really the greatest. I don't know. I can't explain it once again. Once again, I'm lost. Oopsies. I'm going to edit this later. For sure. Just a bit. I need to crop the screen. So I'm not sure if you see the messages I'm receiving by friends on Amino. If you are, I am sorry. I'm probably just gonna post line art today. Oh yeah, I watch a decent amount of anime. Not a whole lot, but I mostly watch Detective Conan. You know what? I'm gonna be done here for today. So, goodbye, I think, for now. I'll upload a colored version eventually. Lol.